Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today we're going to be joined by Ram Rodriguez. He is the owner of Artista Cigars, and I'm going to get into a full conversation with him. We're going to talk all about his brand. We're going to talk about how he got into it. You know, it's a multi-generational company, and we're going to talk about his thoughts on the cigar industry a little bit, and you know, we're going to have a good time. So why don't I go ahead and jump right into the interview, and I will catch you. And I'm joined today by Ram Rodriguez, owner of Artista Cigars. How are you doing, buddy?
All good, all good. How about yourself, Nick? Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. I'm wonderful. It's nice to see you outside of a trade show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, very cool. Well, I am looking forward to this. I have a cigar here, and normally this would be the point that I would introduce the cigar and talk about it. But given the fact that it's, I don't know, your company, I figure you might be able to tell me a little bit about this. So I have the Artista Falu in a 5x54 box press Robusto. Can you give me a little insight on this guy?
Of course, that is a great choice. So the Falu is the third addition to the flagships that we introduced. We did that infusion last year, I think it was. This one is a medium to full body cigar with Broadleaf tobacco as wrapper, Sumatra binder, and a blend of Dominican tobaccos inside.
Right.
Very good stuff, a lot of complexity and sweet notes on it.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to giving this guy a cut and light here. And it's time for the cut, which is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for over 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So head on over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. With that, I'm going to go ahead and cut my cigar. You know Dave.
Of course I know Dave. Who
Yeah.
doesn't know Dave in this industry?
Dave is how I got to know your cigars, actually. The Buffalo.
Oh, yeah?
10, I believe.
The Buffalo,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So when we started the project with David Ortiz, I remember visiting a bunch of cigar shops in the New England area.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. And usually when you go to a territory, you have one big store and then other ones that some of them are very big and some other ones, but there's always like one that is kind of the big shark in the tank, you know? And of course, Two Guys is that one in that area. And the usual thing is that there are a couple of other stores in the area that don't like that shop, you know? It's the first time ever that I see the complete opposite in a territory. None of the shops that I visit said anything bad about Two Guys. They all love what they have been done for the industry. They all love Dave and the team over there. And that's when I realized, like, wow, you know, like it is actually, you know, like a good example of how to do things right.
Yeah, they
That's
can
beautiful.
actually all get along.
Yeah. And yeah, I have a lot of respect for Dave and his team over there. It's just amazing and beautiful what they've been doing and how much they've been helping the New England cigar smoker community.
No, for sure. And beyond, because I mean, you know, Dave, he's brick and mortar, but he's got the website, and you know, there's people all over the place that order cigars from him. So yeah, it's not just New England. I mean, my God, I know I have friends of mine that they don't live near cigar shops, and you know, they have to order online, and they've chosen to go with Dave because it is a brick and mortar. They can, you know, they're still supporting a brick and mortar shop by going with Two Guys, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so now that we have a cigar all fired up and going, let's get into you. So, I have questions. I've done my research on you. I have read articles. I have been doing research, and so
Oh my.
I know. I'm feeling a little saucy here, a little prepared. So I want to start off with this question. So you have been quoted in various articles as not originally wanting to get into tobacco, but actually even considering medicine and IT before falling in love with the cigar world after attending the IPCPR slash, we'll call it PCA just because that's what it is now, show in 2007. So I want to know what clicked with you at that show that changed your trajectory to put you into tobacco and cigars.
For me, what for me the tobacco industry meant, it was everything that I see here in the Dominican Republic. For me, tobacco was, growing, going to the farm, inspecting tobacco, curing, fermentation, sorting, manufacturing, packaging. That's it. You put everything on a box, you put the box on a truck, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
For me, that was what was all about. When I went to IPCPR for first time, and I realized what happened after you put a lock on that truck, and it travels all the way to the U.S. I saw how beautiful the community is. That is interesting to see that is very similar to the tobacco culture here in the DR, where like it's an instrument that you use to make friends, to sit down, relax, and have good conversations. It's almost the same, but it was just shocking. I just had no idea how much people appreciate this art that us, the cigar manufacturers, do. And I just fell, I just fell in love. Also, like medicine, yes, I wanted to be a doctor when I was like very, very young. But the IT thing, I'm still into that. I actually, like here in this office, I have a server that I use with Ubuntu to play around.
Okay.
And actually, this morning I was working on this beautiful, well-designed device that I'm improvising right now. It's our Arduino board that I'm trying to do something with it.
What can I ask what you're trying to do with that? Because like I'm not gonna lie, I look at that. I'm sure it's got a purpose, but I'm looking at that. And I'm like, man, that just looks like a lot of stuff held together by
Oh
maybe
yeah,
some tape.
yeah. So yeah, I have to 3D print a case for it, but basically, oh, okay. This is a Arduino board that has an antenna for LoRa. LoRa is a low frequency transmission protocol. And basically, I'm communicating this to a hub. And from that hub, it goes to this server that I have here. And it's a thermometer. So basically, I'm going to use this in the curing barns. So, not only in the curing bars, but also in the warehouses where I have all the pilones.
Yeah.
And instead of doing everything manual, so right now we have two ways. It's either like a little chart that is done by hand. You measure the temperature of the bells of the pilones every day, and you make the chart. But also on a computer. We also do it by computer. Now I want this to do everything for me, and I'm designing everything instead of buying something from the shelf.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually no, I'm saying I'm just like I didn't know what the answer to that question was going to be, but the idea that you're using technology to essentially automate the temperature checking and everything of the pilones, that's really neat. I'm really impressed with that.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that you can do it not only with the pilones, but with everything. I want to be able to control my aging rooms with this technology, and even the curing barns. I'm not using regular Wi-Fi because most of the warehouses do not have Wi-Fi, and these low frequency signals, they travel very far, up to like this little device can communicate up to 5 kilometers.
Okay.
How much is that in miles? 2 trillion miles. I don't know. I don't do my
I was
like.
gonna say I'd
No,
have
it's
to do
like 3.5 miles, something like that.
yeah.
And you can put like a device that captures the signal and replicate it in case you need it, if you wanted to travel farther. So I can basically connect everything to my server and, have all my reports and everything on one place.
That's so cool. Okay. No, but I'm super fascinated with that. That's really neat. Um, so you're still, you still have that going on, but the medicine you've left behind, and
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That was like a silly dream when I was probably like 8 or 9.
I want,
Then I went to a science fair and I saw, like human parts on jars and stuff like that. I become vegetarian for like a year. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
I get it. I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a little kid, and I'm
yeah.
just like, it's one of those things. So, okay, okay. So what you just told me, um, this is my next question is very interesting in comparison to what you just told me, because you're bringing all this technology into the factory and into the business. So a lot of family business, because let me back up. You're a multi-generational family with Artista, right? You're what, third generation?
I'm third generation. My grandfather started the business in the
Yeah.
56.
Okay. So a lot of family businesses can kind of sometimes struggle with generational transitions. And my question here is, what is something that your grandfather built that you absolutely refuse to change? And what is something that you felt absolutely had to evolve once you took over?
Many things. So I feel our factory has a culture that uh, is unique. Every factory has their own thing, of course. But the way everything flows in our company is something that, for my understanding, came from my grandfather. His doors were always open to talk from the cleaning lady all the way to the CFO, and that's how we still operate here. We also care a lot about our team, and any decision that we make every day is to make sure that everything that we do is for them, is something that can benefit not only us as the factory owners, but also our team. And usually that's how we operate. And that is definitely the way it used to be with my grandfather. Also parties. My grandfather, there's a bunch of stories of him bringing like local bands and do in special occasions on some events with all the team. And we still do that. Now it's more organized. We are bigger. We have 2,000 people. So we really need to organize everything.
Yeah.
But we keep that tradition. We keep the tradition of doing that beautiful party every year. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Another silly thing, which is the color of all of our buildings. Our buildings are all white with a very bright green.
Okay.
That was my grandfather's favorite color. And I remember when I was a teenager that I told my dad, like, hey, like, like we should change the colors because it doesn't really identify us. And he told me like, oh, maybe you can do it when I die because that's how the factory has always been. And it's something that I'm not ready to let go because it was my grandfather's choice. After that, I understood, and I believe I will say the same to the next generation, my kids or my sister kids. This is just what we always have been, and I don't see it as something harmful to have that color and that it has identified our infrastructure for so long.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
all right. So let me ask you. uh, I actually have two follow-up questions to that, but I'm going to start with the color one. So, um, on the Falu here, but then also on the two corresponding cigars in the core line, you have the
the harvest at the midnight.
that okay. You went with the gold with the white, and then there was a different color band stripe. On this one you have kind of a maroon reddish. The others you have kind of a yellow, orange, and
Yes,
a blue. Why didn't you do a white and a green? Or are you holding that one back for another special one that you're thinking of later?
I'm still thinking honestly, but that's more like a personal thing. I don't love like super bright colors. So
Yeah.
I just need to find the right spot where to put it. Let me see if I can. Okay, yeah, I think I can show you from here. Let me see if
Okay.
you can see our buildings. You
Oh,
see the
yeah.
white and green?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our colors.
Okay. Okay. Um, all right. So maybe something one day if you do a cigar, honoring your grandfather, maybe the green and
Maybe,
the
maybe.
green and white, for that. But all right. Now other follow-up question to what you were just talking about is I've gathered from my reading about you and everything that yes, the team is very important to you. And my question to that is, has there ever been a time when, man, you wanted to do this, you wanted to do something, and then you presented it to the team, and the team was like, "Oh, Ram, hold up, we we need to think about that," and then they convince you to change what you were originally thinking.
100%, and that happens all the time, and still does. Eh, Me personally, I always try to be aware of in what things I'm good at and in what other things I'm not good at. And usually those things that I'm not good at, I rely a lot on the decision of my team. And not only on the administrative side, but also in the manufacturing area. I'm actually an industrial engineer. That was my
Yeah,
career. So I'm very process oriented. So, and I always try to see like where can we be more efficient. And I'll say 70% of the time that I come up with something, I realize that it doesn't work, and it's mainly because it's just not part of how people are used to do it. At a point that it's not efficient to do it, different than the way that they are doing, or maybe the results are basically the same.
yeah,
So yes, of course, we really rely on our team. We are blessed with a very good team here in our factory, and it works. Every decision it cannot be just made by one person. Sometimes I'm very stubborn. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah.
but overall, yes, it's a team effort, and it always has been like that.
Right. So I'm fascinated by what you were just talking about with the industry as a whole, and how sometimes the way it's always been done is not the most efficient, at this time, because cigars are a very, I mean, dude, more than even I do. They're soaked in tradition. They're artisanal. They're it's just it's that historic kind of way of doing things, and we're coming into, the AI age and everything else. And I guess my question is, where do you see, um, I mean, your device that you're developing right there might be a good example right off the bat, but like, let's take this out 5 years. How do you think technology and advancement and changes are going to impact the industry while at the same time being able to preserve that traditional aspect of the cigar industry?
So I believe that we need to continue relying on technology, and there are thousands of examples. For example, the HR software that we use now, that before it was just my grandfather talking to the employees.
Yeah.
Inventory management, accounting softwares, and all of that. I think the technology can uh, uh, work a lot in this industry as long as it doesn't force the industry to adapt to the technology. The technology needs to be adapted to our ways of operating. And this little thing that I'm building is the perfect example of why I decide to do it myself instead of just buying a thermometer and whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to build is something that is adapt perfectly to the way our factory works. because the process is going to be exactly the same as we are doing it now. Just the only big difference is that we don't have to go to and check every bell by hand every single day. It's the exact same thing, just more digitalized and better, well documented.
Yeah.
And yes, and that's why I decided to build the firmware for this little device and do everything myself, because I don't want to adapt to something that already exists. I want the technology to work on the things that we do the way we do it, because that's how it works, and that's how it should be.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, now let's go back to you working as a child in the or as an employee in the factory there. Your father, from what I read, he treated you like any other employee when you were growing up and in the
Oh yeah.
factory. So, looking back, now you're the guy in charge. What lessons from those early factory jobs shape how you manage people today?
I think the things that I learned the most is that every single job counts and every single one of them is important. And just because you are on a higher position doesn't mean that you're smarter or you know better. You have to be humble and learn, not even from the people that maybe are more professional or have more knowledge in certain ways, but also from the people that do all the process every single day that are very repetitive.
Yeah.
They know way better than any chart that you can see or any flow chart or whatever, because they are there and every single day, they understand the tobacco more than anybody else. Uh, for me, when I was a kid, it was maybe sometimes it was tough because I had to do things that maybe I didn't want to do in some of the process that I went through in the factory, but it was definitely worth it. And especially because now that I'm on a higher position, I understand what everybody's doing, and I understand how it should be done and how it maybe can be improved. Uh, because I understand the whole process, and I think that was the best university, the best school that I have ever had in my life.
Oh, that's great. It, it's just so obvious the respect you have for your people. Be it either your top level, administrative and executive folks, but then all the way down to the folks sweeping the floor. I'm really picking up on the love of the team there.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it's all about the people, and that's why we always say like el artista, which stands for the artist, is not one person; it's every single one of us that wake up early in the morning every day to give the best they can to this beautiful art that we represent and we work.
Fantastic. Now, you've been very vocal about wanting Artista recognized and Tabacalera El Artista recognized as one of the great cigar makers in the Dominican Republic. And do you think that Dominican tobacco still gets unfairly stereotyped as mild by a segment of consumers? And if so, what you know, what are you what how do you want to combat that, or how do you want to educate the consumers that maybe feel like Dominican tobacco is just too mild?
There's a little bit of everything here. Yes, we have mild leaf like the Olor Dominicano, for example,
Mhm.
which it tend to be very mild and sweet. But we also have some seed varieties that are very strong. This country, and I know because actually our main business is tobacco trading. A lot of our tobacco is not only used here in the Dominican, but in Central America as well, and some other parts of the world. They use it because it adds value to any cigar. It's very good tobacco. So On our side, we are always working on developing new hybrids, trying to get it's new tobaccos that can compete better with the blends that are popular in the market right now. And yeah, I mean, yeah, we have mild cigars, but we also have very good strong cigars as well. There's a little bit of everything, and at the end, it's a matter of choice. A lot of people love Dominican cigars, and they prefer it over any other cigars. Me in particular, also like I have tried a lot of cigars from Central America that are phenomenal as well. You know, the taste profile is very different, and that's the beauty of it. That you get to choose from a lot of cigars that are out there.
For sure. And speaking of which, I mean, now you guys, your portfolio, you have your core line. I think you mentioned earlier the David Ortiz cigars that you do. How did you get in with David Ortiz?
So we know David for a long time now. We've been sponsoring his fundraising, the David Ortiz Celebrity Classic, for several years now. And what we used to do there is just bring in our cigars for the people to enjoy and have a cigar roller. During those events, every single year, David was next to the cigar roller all the time, trying to understand and trying to learn. He always enjoyed having an occasional cigar every now and then.
Yeah.
One day, I told David, like, "Hey, you should come to the factory one day and let's make a blend together." He said, like, "Hey, that sounds like a great idea. Actually, I'll call you to see when we do it." I thought it was basically like an empty promise of something that will never happen. But
Yeah.
turns out that a couple of weeks after, I got a call from his assistant to set up a meeting. We sat down, we blend a cigar, which is the Big Papi, the first one we released. And we were making 100 to 200 cigars every couple of months, just for him to share with his close people. And when he announced his retirement, I told him about I pitched him the idea of having that cigar out in the market, and he liked it. And that's how everything started.
Okay. Okay. And then obviously that then once he got into the Hall of Fame led to the Hall of Fame cigar.
Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. Well, very cool. And I'll tell you, sometimes celebrity cigars get a bad rap, because they come and go and whatever else. But it seems like the Big Poppy and the Hall of Fame, that blend has legs, man. You guys have been doing that for a while now.
Yeah, we've been doing that for a long time now. People like it, and what I promised David when we release it is that, David, the first cigar you have to sell it, but the second and after that is on me. So I needed to make sure that to be consistent with the blend, and that it was a good blend.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now, getting more into your portfolio, um, what I love that you guys have done is you have a couple of different lines that or brands that especially these days in this with the state of the economy, but it being what it is, they're very budget friendly. And I think that's really smart and good on you guys, to be ahead of the game on that. Now, um, as a guy who owns a weekly community newspaper, I have my stack of them that I'm giving to the guy at the Historical Society. He always gets a year's worth from me for his archives, sitting right here. I, uh, I love the Paperboy. I think that's just such a great project.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, that project is part of our Artista Studio Works project, and yeah, it's just it brings back nostalgia of the kids from the '90s playing with the Game Boy, and it's just a great cigar. It's simple, 4 by 44. Only two wrappers available. San Andres, Maduro, and Honduras, Connecticut, and great everyday cigar. What we should try to do is, let's make a premium, but an affordable premium. Let's use grade A tobaccos on a small format, so people can enjoy it every day. And that's how we did it. It comes in 8 pack of 8 packs, and it has a little sticker inside.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now the other one that punches way above its value, or way above its price point, that's the word I'm looking for, is the Buffalo 10. Now the other cigar I have sitting here is the new Buffalo 10 Broadleaf that you had at PCA this year. Was that line intentionally designed to prove that premium cigars don't have to be expensive to be respected, or like is this just one of those things where you're like, we need to have a value in our portfolio, or what was the genesis behind the Buffalo 10?
We did create a blend with the intention of bringing a lot of value to the customer. The goal from the beginning was, let's make a $6 cigars that should cost $15.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very proud of that project because I believe we achieved what we were aiming to with the Buffalo 10. Very simple. We kept it simple on the design. We kept it simple on the format. Only one size, a flat box press toro. But a cigar with some great characteristics. This year, the one that you have there, and the one that I'm smoking now, actually, the Broadleaf, is the new addition to the Buffalo 10 family. We started with the San Andres, with the Buffalo 10 Maduro, that from the beginning was a hit. On the first 2 months, we saw what we were expecting to sell the first year. So people received it very well. People really liked it. The natural was also a big hit when the Connecticut was released, which, by the way, was very hard for me to blend. People love it as well.
Why was that one hard for you to blend?
So first, me personally, I'm not a huge fan of Connecticut. Usually, any cigar with Connecticut wrapper is hard for me to blend. And second, we were trying to keep it on the budget and to keep it with the same taste profile as the other two. We wanted a cigar with a lot of sweet notes on it, especially, and with Connecticut, that is very hard.
Yeah.
Very, very hard. We achieved it. The secret on that one was the binder. The binder is Cameroon from Africa, and I think that made the difference on that cigar.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I tend to be, I'm very selective on my Connecticut's, to your point. The ones that I smoke, I find that Connecticut's can sometimes have a bitter quality to it. And I like the ones that don't, and finding the ones that don't have that Connecticut bitterness is difficult. And so I would imagine, to your point, that blending with Connecticut, can kind of add that extra level of complication depending upon what you're going for.
Oh, yes. And actually, since last year, I've been working on a new Connecticut blend. And the intention was to have it released with the Buffalo 10 Cameroon. So for PCA, we were gonna release the Cameroon, or the Buffalo 10 Broadleaf.
Yeah.
We wanted to release on PCA that the Broadleaf, the Buffalo 10 Broadleaf, and another cigar on the Artista line. I was not able.
Okay.
Yes, but the good news is that I'm feel very confident with a blend that we did like a week before the PCA, and right now it's in production, and we're gonna release it in September.
Oh, so you were right there just before PCA, just
Right there,
a
yeah.
little bit more. So if PCA would have still been in July, you would have been fine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, okay. So when you're blending, this kind of leads me into my next question. This works out well. So when you're blending, do you start with a flavor target, or a consumer target, or a tobacco that fascinates you?
It all depends on the occasion, but most of the time is from a tobacco that fascinates me, honestly. Yes. The Buffalo 10 Broadleaf, for example, came after I've been playing around so much with the tobaccos from Pennsylvania and the American tobaccos overall. And that's when we decide to. I came up with this blend. I was like, "Hey, this is perfect for Buffalo 10," and we release it. Usually, everything starts with a tobacco, 100%.
Okay. And then from there, you can kind of figure out like, all right, where do I want this to end up blend wise?
Yeah,
And then I guess from there, it's just a matter of marketing it to the right people to get it to sell.
exactly. Sometimes we have a gap in our portfolio, and we have to work on that. But most of the great blends we do is based on one tobacco that just fascinate me, and we start playing with it, me and my team.
What tobaccos are your favorite? I'm asking
What
you to pick
tobacco?
I'm asking you to pick a child here.
Yeah, I
what
know.
tobaccos do you
So
like the most?
I'm glad I'm not like this in my personal relationships, but because with tobacco, I fell in love today, and tomorrow I have a new love. Honestly,
Okay.
there's just so much out there to discover. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy how many people are doing different things out there and trying new methods. It's just impossible. But if I have to choose like one from the old traditional ones, Piloto Cubano, Piloto from here, from the Dominican, I think is one of my favorite leaves that I try to use in most of my blends. Uh, Out of the new ones, the M32, which is a hybrid that we are growing in Pennsylvania now, is my new love. Is you know the one that makes me wake up early in the morning because I want to see how the pilones are doing. Which, by the way, that's what I did today in the morning,
Okay.
and they're doing
Okay.
pretty well.
All right. Well, what is it about that tobacco that you love so much?
So the M32 is a hybrid that a friend of mine is created in Pennsylvania. He's a Mennonite from over there, and we kind of became friends. He's very curious as well. He's always asking me random questions about my country, for example, and how we process the tobacco here.
Yeah.
Uh, don't tell custom border protection, but I smuggle tobacco seeds to the U.S. every now and then because he wants to try them. He wants to try it in his lands.
Yeah.
I do the same. Every now and then I bring some seeds here to the Dominican Republic. So it's a two-way crime.
Yeah.
And
Then it balances
uh,
out. It's okay, by the way.
exactly, it
Yeah.
balances out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Yeah, we're just, sharing diseases from one
Exactly.
place to another. And when I tried this tobacco for first time, I was actually not meant to go to his farm on that day. I was in the area, and I was like, "Hey, let's go and say hello." And he surprised me with this random tobacco. I put it on a plastic bag and brought it here to the DR. Start giving it fermentation, and I fell in love with it. And we are so happy with the tobacco that I believe that in 3 to 4 years from now, that's gonna be probably one of the main bass that we're gonna use here in our factory. Base is basically the main tobacco that we use for the blends that we are doing on. Because I believe it's just great. It's amazing, the tobacco. It's sweet. It's very strong. It has everything that you need on a good cigar.
Very cool. So and this is one of those questions I may ask it, but there might be all sorts of different like reasons why this isn't a thing. Has he come and have has he come to the DR to visit your operation? I mean, I guess they would need
He
a
can't.
passport. That's what I was going to say. Like, do Mennonites get passports? I don't know. You know?
I mean, they are Americans, so they can get
They
taxes.
could.
But
Well, that's the thing. They
yeah,
but do they
yeah,
for the? I don't know what their religious guidelines like if they do or not. But
in his house, I go to his house all the time. There's not even a light bulb in there. Everything is propane. All the
okay,
lamps. He has taken rides with me in the car.
yeah,
Always in the back for some reason. He doesn't like to sit in the front, or he cannot. I don't know why.
okay.
Uh, but yeah, I always joke with him like, hey, like you should go to the DR. Like, oh, like I don't know how can I do how could I do that? So yeah, I don't think so.
Huh. Okay. Well,
But I
that's a
don't know.
shame.
They take bus,
Well, I was gonna say, like, if they take vehicles, then what's a plane? It's just
it's a vehicle,
it's a
exactly.
bus
Yeah,
in the sky. So like,
exactly.
yeah. So I don't know. It just seems like a shame that he wouldn't be able to come down and see your operation since you've been up to see his, and everything.
And that would be really cool.
I
I
think
would
it
love
would
to
be.
have him for a whole season. Growing season. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I want to do that with my kids actually when they are older to take them to Pennsylvania. It's so
Oh,
beautiful over there.
yeah.
Like the farm size in Pennsylvania is just beautiful.
Interesting. Well, there you go. You get like a cultural exchange program.
Yeah,
You could have Mennonites coming to the DR to visit you guys, and your kids could go up to Pennsylvania. It would work out
yeah.
well. Oh, well, fun. Well, so okay, so getting back to cigars, and the more company side, what is the hardest thing today, for you guys as a brand? Making a great cigar, sourcing consistent tobacco, or getting consumers' attention in what is seemingly kind of a bit of an overcrowded market sometimes.
Selling a cigar is the hardest part.
Yeah,
Actually, every time here I see people that they open a new factory, a Dominican guy with no experience, international experience, just know how to make great cigars. I'm
yeah,
like, they think that that's the hardest part. That's the easiest part.
yeah,
For me, the two hardest things in the industry is selling the cigar and fermentation. Making a cigar, if you have good tobacco, is easy, my friend.
yeah.
It's easy.
Um, Now you do grow, um, and then you're obviously sourcing at least from the Mennonites, but like, you're getting, tobacco. Is it mostly your tobacco that you're using, or are you pulling from other places? I mean, you don't have to necessarily say where if you don't want to, but I'm just curious as to
So
like the
yeah,
percentage, like, how much is yours and how
yeah.
much is Housemarque?
So Dominican tobacco, I'll say, is at least 50% of all of our blends,
Okay.
but we use a lot of tobacco from all over the place. The way we operate, especially on the tobacco business side, and not in the cigar manufacturing, is our company. We have two type of suppliers. The ones that sells us tobacco bales with already processed. We know what's in there. We just receive it and we make cigars with it or resell it.
Yeah.
And raw tobacco, which is the toughest part. Uh, for example, the ones that we receive from the Mennonites, that tobacco is on process. We have to receive it here. We have to make the pilones. We have to do the sorting. So we kind of consider that a tobacco processed by us. Same with all the tobacco that we get it from our farms in Ecuador. That tobacco, we grow it there, we cure it, then we ship it here, and we ferment it and sort it here as well. Uh, Talking about countries, I'll say 50% of the tobaccos is from the Dominican Republic. Talking about tobacco that we process, I'll say 98% of it is tobacco that we process ourselves.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Um, Now the other part of my, prior question that I wanna dive into a little bit is, if selling the cigar is the most difficult part, then, what is kind of your mindset? What is your mentality? What is your, kind of viewpoint as to how to penetrate through the noise to get to the consumer to get them to be interested in trying your product because, obviously it seems like advertising, avenues are limited, for cigars. Um, and there's look, the places that are available, some are very costly, some are a little bit less expensive, and social media has kind of been cracking down on cigars, the last however many years. What kind of methods, strategies, thoughts do you have on marketing?
So, as I told you before, that I usually rely on people with more knowledge than me.
The, the
In
team.
some parts, yes, selling. I'm the worst seller there is ever.
Mm,
I'm a factory guy more than anything else. Luckily enough, I have a very handsome gringo from the north of LA that he called himself Kevin Newman.
okay.
He's the vice president of Artista Cigars USA, and he's good at it. And he handles marketing and he handles sales on a way that I could not do it myself. That being said, the fact that I'm not very good on that area, that's not my expertise. What we always try to communicate as a company is what we really are. There's a lot of things in the marketing, not necessarily in the tobacco, like overall, a lot of PS going on out there.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I don't get it. I mean, yeah, maybe it sells, but I wouldn't feel good with that. I try to be honest and I try to present myself and my family legacy as what it really is. And every decision that is made on in the marketing and sales side needs to be done considering that the fact that it needs to be true and it needs to be real, it needs to be authentic. We're not here to be a copycat or a bullshitter. We're here to be artista.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, one of the things that you showed me at PCA was the 3D printed packaging, that you had for it was the Buffalo Tens, right? You had a
No, it's the with the artista, the artifacts.
oh, okay, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, with
yes,
the
yes.
flagship.
And obviously, you were just talking about having to 3D print a case for your little technological project there that you've got going on and everything. So that is kind of something that you seem to be into, but it's also something you're bringing to the brand is maybe some unique packaging in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Everything on our design, we try to make it unique and something that really represents us and something different. I believe the artifacts is a perfect example of that. Also, this ashtray that we did. Hold on, let me grab it. This
Ah,
ashtray with a wooden base and aluminum top. That was designed here in the factory as well. And yeah, we just try to come with something that feel a necessity. Everybody needs an ashtray, but something unique that resemble, not just a random ashtray with a stamp on it.
yeah, yeah. No, exactly. Well, and it's got the A, and it's pretty cool. All right. So now you interact with retailers. What this might be hopefully this isn't a question that you're like, I'm pleading the fifth. Um, what separates the shops that thrive from the shops that struggle today, do you think?
Passion is
Okay.
like not even. It doesn't even have to be the owner, but you need somebody there that is really passionate about this, that falls in love with brands, with the people, and that really makes it different. When I go to a shop where you have somebody that has no idea of what a cigar is, has no idea of what's hot, what people are really into nowadays. Usually, those shops, I don't think they will withstand with the time. You really, like a cigar shop is a place where you need that person that is always there making conversations and just loving cigars and the industry as it is.
I would agree with that. I so how do I put this? I have encountered a lot of retailers that tend to be kind of clubhouse owners that the business side of things isn't necessarily their um how do I I'm trying to do this delicately. So there's business owners and there's clubhouse owners, and sometimes the clubhouse owners are just like, oh, as long as the place pays for itself, that I'm okay, and it's just kind of their little hangout spot to maybe get away from home or something like that. And I guess my question then becomes, um, as a brand, you guys rely on retailers to assist with the sale. I mean, you're working to sell your cigars to get into a shop, and then you're hoping and relying on that retailer to then present your brand to all of their customers that come in and everything. And I guess what kind of things do you look at when you're working with retailers, like that you hope that they would do to promote your cigars to those consumers? And then also, like, what tools do you provide those retailers to, promote your brand to those consumers?
So we usually don't, when we go to shops, our sales team,
Yeah.
they don't just go to make a sale and that's it. The first thing that we try to do is to try to understand how that store works and to see if it can fit to our way of thought, and if we have a product in our catalog that can fit inside their humidor. And so yeah, it's a process, and we try to give the store owner a product that he understands and he likes, because if somebody just buy to buy, like, we're still not there. The way we can grow is by having relying on those people in the cigar shop recommending our products. We always try to keep our open communication with the store owner or anybody inside the store that is in the humidor, so they can understand our products and can understand, like, what kind of consumer will enjoy a cigar from Artista.
Well, I only have a couple more questions for you. We're getting down to the end. This isn't too bad, is it?
No, it's not bad at all. I'm having
Perfect.
I'm having fun, my friend.
All right, good, good. I wanted to make sure I wasn't like grilling you too hard right here, um, okay, so if your grandfather walked into the factory today, what do you think would surprise him the most?
Well, the size of the factory. I mean, when that's for sure.
All right, that's a
You
good
know,
answer.
yeah, yeah. When he passed away in the 84, I think it was. Unfortunately was not didn't met him. Uh, it was still a little factory in his backyard. You know, everything starting literally in the backyard, and then my father built a warehouse in my grandmother's backyard, and that's where we still are. Like, this is the main facility.
Yeah.
And when he passed away, we were probably 35 to 50 people working there. Now we are around 2,000. It's a big difference.
That's a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. And now we have operations all over the place. That's another big difference. And the type of product is, completely different as well, because we have much more varieties of tobacco for us to play with. Tobacco from South, Central, North America, Asia, Africa, from everywhere, basically.
Yeah. But it seems like
Yeah.
they're popping up all over the place. I've seen things from, what is it, Colombia? There's been some chatter about tobacco from Colombia now, and it's just everywhere you turn around, there's more tobacco being,
So
talked about. I had somebody the other day talking to me about Indian tobacco from India. That's like,
yeah, I know a lot about the Indian tobacco industry, and let me tell you something. Yeah, there are places that you cannot even maybe have it in your mind that they have great tobaccos. Paraguay,
yeah,
for example. Colombia, yes, 100%. We've been using Colombia for over 15 years now, and it's amazing. It's a great tobacco, and now it's better than before. A type of tobacco that I try, and I wish I could try it again. It's a tobacco that is grown in the south of Spain. I forgot the name of the seed, but it was crazy. It's like very, very strong. It kind of reminds me a little bit to Latakia,
okay,
the Syrian tobacco, but closer to dark tobacco, like to tobacco for cigars than the Latakia. It has hints of it. Very interesting as well. Yeah, in India there are some interesting varieties as well that I have tried. Panama as well, the Costa Rica. Yeah, this is relatively easy to grow in the places where the temperature is right.
yeah, interesting. All right, so I have technically one. I have one question that I want to be my final question, but I've over the course of this, I've kind of come up with one more that this is more of just a personal question of mine. A lot of your cigars are box pressed. Is there a reason that do you just prefer box press cigars to round cigars, or is there a reason that you have like the Buffalo 10? They're all that kind of I call it like the really wafer, kind of box press because
Yeah,
it's very kind of a flat box press. And then this guy, the Falu, also is kind of a very similar kind of box press. Is there a reason that you box press so many of your cigars?
yeah, because they don't fall from the desk when
I
when
knew
when you put it there.
Are you is that really seriously your answer? Because every time I bring up a box press, I personally, if you were to give me, say, here's a Falu that's box press and here's one that's round, I would probably always go for the round. It's just a personal preference of mine. No real particular reason. Mouthfeel mostly is the thing I always say, but it's just kind of one of those things. But some people say they don't care, whatever else. And every time I bring this up, everyone says, "Oh, they don't roll off the desk or roll off the table." And I'm surely that cannot be the actual answer. So, like, I guess my question is, like, from the process side, why is there a reason you've chosen to box press your cigars?
So the main reason why so many of our cigars are box pressed is because Buffalo 10. And that cigar was not actually meant to be box pressed. It, we wanted to make a Robusto a 50 by 6 cigar, and that's it.
Yeah.
By mistake, no, what? Yeah, like when we were blending, it was me and Kevin. I was like, hey, you know what? Let's box press it. Because some of the samples that we did, there was not enough fillers inside.
Okay.
So it was very light draw. So I was
Yeah.
like, let's box press it just to try it. It was a mistake from the guy that makes the samples for me. Let's just box press it and let's see it. He fucked up again after that. He box pressed it on the wrong molder.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yes, he did it on a different molder, and that's why it ended up so flat.
Yeah.
And when we tried it, we were like, oh, wow, like this tastes completely different and it's amazing. We liked it so much that we were like, let's keep it like that. It's just something different and we liked it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was just a big coincidence, honestly.
Happy accident.
Happy accident. But at the end, when you box press a cigar, you have less filler inside.
Hmm.
So the percentage of wrapper and binder that you're smoking is higher compared to the same cigar size on a regular Vitola. So you're smoking more wrapper and binder than on a regular cigar, basically. And you know that
Pulling
the
those
wrapper.
flavors. Yeah.
Yes, and the binder is a wrapper that was not good enough for wrapper and became a binder. But it has the same aging process. Usually the oldest tobacco and the best tobacco, the one that we take the better care of, is the wrapper because it needs to look perfect.
Yeah.
So you're smoking more of that, of the very slow and well-aged tobacco when you're smoking a box press.
Interesting. All right. Well, you know what? There you go. There's the answer. Everybody tells me the table thing, but I like the fact that you had an actual legitimate answer. So I appreciate that. And it doesn't roll off a table. So that works out.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, finally, Ram, I have this question. And the cigar industry talks a lot about its legacy. Especially now. It seems like we're at a point in history where you're seeing a lot of like one generation kind of like coming to the conclusion of their career. You have a lot of like, the younger generations taking over companies all over the place. And, you're seeing a lot of transition. And I'm not saying that for you guys, but what I am asking is when your career is eventually over, what do you hope that Artista means to the cigar world beyond just the cigars themselves?
That's a tough one. That's a deep one.
I
Yeah.
wanted to end with a big one.
So first, not only the people out there that like the cigar smoking community from the world, but also here, like here in the Dominican, we want to create awareness to everybody of how important this industry is, and how much stability it brings to communities. 10 years ago, the cigar industry was just here in the Santiago metropolitan area, here in the Dominican Republic. You 25 miles away, they had no idea about cigars. They didn't care about cigars. They just knew that there are some places in the Cibao Valley that they grow the tobacco, and that's it. Now that the demand has been increasing ever since the pandemic times, uh, now more factories out of the traditional area are in these new territories. For example, in La Vega, in San Juan, which is very far from here, from Santiago. In La Vega, I was able to see the whole transition from, receiving this new commodity, this new product that nobody understand. Uh, the people from the area didn't just understood that it was just any other factory, like all the and clothing manufacturers that are over there on that town. And now they see that no, it's not the same, because in those industries, when the demand is low, everybody gets fired, and that's it. It's that simple and that easy, because people are so easy to replace in those industries. In cigars, the effort we have to put into training people, into making them understand how the tobacco is treated, is an expense, actually. It's an investment that we do on the people. And we really need to make sure they are taken care of in order for this to work. So it works for the private sector, but it also works for the community. It brings a lot of stability because it's a year-long work. It's a year-long process, and there's always something to do inside a cigar factory. Here in Tamboril, where my hometown, the unemployment rate is the lowest in the whole country. Even lower than in Punta Cana, which is the most important touristic destination in the Caribbean. Here is lower, and it's all because of the tobacco. And now we have over 4 years in La Vega, and people now understand how beautiful and how meaningful is the work that they are putting into this product. The new territories is San Juan, which is like 5 hours away from here. We open a new factory, and some other companies are installing operations over there as well. And that's the challenge over there. And I really hope it continues. And I really hope the Dominican Republic, and not only here, Latin, every Central America, and the consumers out there see and understand how important this beautiful product that we have in our hands uh, is for a lot of people in countries like ours here in the Dominican.
It's obvious that you guys take the product and the craftsmanship of it very seriously. I mean, your government has been working with to make a what? There's a cigar rolling program or educational thing, right? To train new
Yes.
rollers.
Yes, yes. We have it's called the Dominican Tobacco Institute,
Yeah.
and they have school now. There's a new school here in Tamboril to show the art of cigar rolling to new people. And there are some other similar programs that we do. For example, in San Juan, over there we are training people, and it's through the government program that we are doing that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think it's great. Well, that's a good answer to the question there.
Thank you.
It was a solid answer to the question. So, speaking of solid, I have to highlight the Falu because we haven't really talked about our cigars at all. You've lit up a second. Are you still smoking the broadleaf, or is this something different that you're smoking?
Yes, I'm just taking some random cigars of the production. We call it tarea, the homework. I'm just doing my homework now.
See, why couldn't I get to do that kind of homework when I was in school? I swear. Um, but no, the Falu, this thing has smoked absolutely wonderfully. I'm down to the final third here, and the draw on it has been absolutely amazing. The ash holds very nicely. I love good smoke production on a cigar. I want a cigar that when I'm smoking it, it's almost it plumes. I want that puff of just borderline obnoxious amount of smoke. I wanna know that I don't nothing sucks more to me than when I'm smoking a cigar and I take a draw and it's just that little wisp of smoke. It's like,
Oh yeah.
I want a smoky cigar, damn it. And, this thing, anybody who's been watching on the YouTube and the Rumble, they've seen because my camera's right there, the smoke just billows with this. And, but more to the point, the flavor on it, there's a slight little bit of sweetness, there's some kind of, earthy kinda components to it. It's like, this is a very, very well-made cigar. I've really enjoyed this cigar a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I'm looking forward because I have the other ones that you, generously gave me a PCA sitting in there and everything. So I'm like, "Alright, I just chose this one." I did do a little bit of reading on your website to figure out, like, which one, and I'm like, "Alright, I'm gonna start with that one." But, yeah, so no, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to trying the Buffalo 10 broadleaf here soon as well.
I hope you enjoy it.
I'm sure I will. Where can people find out more information about Artista Cigars?
Our website, artistacigars.com, and of course, social media. You can find us at Artista Cigars.
Ram, thank you so much for taking time out of the day. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick, for having me. And yeah, till next time, my friend.
I was gonna say, let's do this again because I can tell just based off of this conversation, there's a whole lot of different things we could get into. Because no offense to any of my prior guests or anything, but sometimes I get answers and they're, you know, either press release answers or kind of surface level. You can tell, some people that know a little bit about a lot, but then there's also guys like you that I can tell really knows a lot about the process. And so I'm very impressed with that. And so I want to we need to do this again so we can really dive in and really get into the nitty-gritty of some of the process.
I would love to, my friend. And maybe you can come here to the DR and we'll do it live from the island as
There
well.
we go. There we go. Well, perfect. Well, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick. Till next time.
And I really want to thank Ram from Artista Cigars for taking time out of his day to talk to us. It was a really insightful, good conversation. I'm looking forward to circling back on that and talking to him more about, just kind of the business, or not even the business side, but the actual practical side, the factory side. All the ins and outs of that. It's like there's a lot there, and it's fascinating to me, and I think there's a lot that we can pull from his brain and put into the world. So anyway, well, now that we have completed that, why don't we go ahead and move on and do this? It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. All right, guys. So in terms of what I've been entertained by lately, I went to the Indianapolis 500. I just got back yesterday. And it was a hell of a race. So to start with, we were worried pretty much the whole time, up to and even during, about the threat of rain. Rain was looming to the west, and there were a couple times the race did get stopped for a little sprinkle on one of the turns. See, that's the thing people don't understand is this track is so big that you could be sunny in turn 2, but it's sprinkling in turn 4, and so it's that large of an area that you could have different weather patterns going on at different points in the track. But anyway, so we had to delay the race, I think maybe twice because of sprinkles. But anyway, we got the race in, and not only did we get the race in, but we got the tightest finish in Indianapolis 500 history, with is it Rosenquist? I think it's Rosenquist. I always get the names wrong. It's just one of those things. God bless it. I'm trying to search and people are texting me and it's like, then I tap this and it's like, whatever. Anyway. All right. Yes. It's, Felix Rosenquist, from Sweden. He won the 110th, Indianapolis 500. He beat out, David Malukas from, Chicago, by like next to nothing. I mean, it was next to nothing. That it happened. So, yeah, it was just super tight win. I'm trying to look here to see if they say how close it was, and of course they don't, because why would they possibly say? Why would they possibly say how close it was? Everything's about emotion and blah, 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 and everything like that. I want the... Yeah, here it is. Rosenquist won over Malukas by 0.0233 seconds. That's ridiculous. 0.0233 seconds. Closest finish in Indianapolis 500 history. And let me tell you, the crowd, like, we went nuts when it was happening. Because the way it all went down is it was in a yellow flag, so which means that the cars can't pass, they can't speed, and it's all under tight control. And then they did 2 laps with the pace car, and it all ultimately came down to one final lap where they call it, like, basically a shotgun lap, where these guys are just going crazy. And so right at the end, Malukas thought he had it won, and Rosenquist punched it right at the end and was able to by 0.0233 seconds. That's such an infinitesimally small amount of time. It's ridiculous, but he did it. And it was cool. It was really cool. And it was a really good crowd. I mean, it was a huge crowd. It was a sellout. So you're talking like, 350, 400,000 people. I mean, it was a ton of people there. I mean, we got there early anticipating the crowd. And even then, it was still a ridiculously large crowd. So, yeah, we were even surprised about that. But it worked out well. And like I said, the rain stayed away. Weather was great. Temperatures were awesome. It was a good time. So it worked out really well. I had a lemonade, and it's still a 7.5, guys. I was wondering, because they used to have really good lemonade at the track. And they have switched to the mix, and it's obvious. And I'm disappointed in them for switching to the mix, because the other lemonade used to be really good. And so, but I wanted to see if that was maybe they used the mix for the Grand Prix race, but maybe for the 500 they go to the good stuff. They didn't go to the good stuff. It was still the mix. But anyway, so there's that. So that's what I've been entertained by lately, is I went to the 500. And now I'm back, and I'm finishing this episode. And then after I finish this, I'm working on my newspaper, and I'm settling in to watch my wrestling pay-per-view that was also on Sunday. But you can only watch one big show. It's just, I didn't have time to watch two. If I would have been watching on TV, that would have been different. I could have been, flip, but no. So today will be newspaper and wrestling. But anyway, now that we've got that done, let's do a lemonade review. It's Tuesday, so it's lemonade review day. So I cracked open the fridge. Figured let's find one that we haven't done yet. I have a couple, more than a couple. Had some options. Was like, which do I feel like doing? Oh, first, I'm going to cleanse my palate with some water, just to make sure. Just to make sure I'm not, tainting the results here. But yeah. I was like, what lemonade am I going to do? And I've got one that I've been sitting on for a little while. Not a little while. I mean, a couple of weeks. One that I have never had this flavor. The classic lemonade. I've had other flavors. Because they make some where they mix other fruits with the lemonade. And their black cherry lemonade is amazing. But today, I will be trying Joe's Classic Lemonade. This comes to us from Joe's Tea, and you can find out more about them at joestea.com. But they have a little thing on the label here. It says, I must admit, though they call me Joe Tea, every now and then I get the urge for lemonade. It took me a long time to get my lemonade just right. The trick is the right balance between sweetness and tartness. Fortunately, we had lots of lemons from my other popular lemon tea to experiment with. One day, it all came together, and that's what's in this bottle. If you're thirsty and you like lemonade, inhale a Joe's Classic Lemonade, and you'll thirst no more. Enjoy, Joe. So, we have a 20-ounce Joe's Classic Lemonade. 5% juice, says Shake Well. 280 calories in the whole bottle. So, you're drinking your calories for the day. Ingredients: filtered water, cane sugar, lemon juice, and white grape juice concentrate, citric acid, natural lemon flavor, and ester gum. So, it's a limited ingredient list. We like that. We don't like it to be a whole ton of stuff. I mean, it's just lemonade. It should be fairly basic. You could probably get that lemon juice percentage up. 5% juice. Come on, guys. Come on, Joe. There's been some of the other ones on my list have had much, much higher, juice percentages. And that's something to strive for. So, all right, but we have popped top, and we're going to give this guy a shot. So, bottoms up to Joe's Classic Lemonade.
Okay. Okay. The tartness comes through front and center, but it ends on a clean, sweet note. Yeah, unlike some of the others that are more sweet forward with maybe a hint of tart, this is definitely tart forward with a hint of sweet, which is different. Because when I look at my list of all the other ones I've done, they're all very sweet forward with a hint of tart, whereas this is definitely tart forward with a hint of sweet. It's quite tasty. It doesn't burn. Like you wouldn't. Let's put it this way. I wouldn't expect it to burn, but what I'm saying is, with a more tart forward lemonade, I would think that perhaps it might have a little bit of a bite, and it doesn't. It has tart, but it doesn't have a bite. That's probably a better way for me to put it. So, where would I rank Joe's Classic Lemonade? It's good. It's not really my lemonade flavor profile. I do tend to like the sweet forward lemonades. With a hint of tart. This is definitely like the black cherry Joe's lemonade. It's got that sweet forward with that little bit of tart. And so I actually really like that. I like that a lot more than the classic lemonade. Where would I put the Joe's Classic Lemonade? Looking at my list of what I've ranked other things. I don't want to shit on Joe's because it is good. It's just very different than what everything else I've drank is. Like my brain says 8, but I'm looking at it. I've got Milo's at 8. I've got Calypso at 8. I have Simply Lemonade at 8.5. And I don't. It's very different from Milo's and Calypso in that they definitely were a different flavor profile. But I don't want to go like 7.5 because, like, I don't know. I did the Dole and I did at 6.5. I did PCA at 6. Indianapolis Motor Speedway came in at 7.5. I think Joe's is going to settle. I'm going to go with an 8 for Joe's. I'm going to go with an 8 for Joe's because it's not a matter of my flavor profile. It's a matter of how good it is. And it is a good lemonade. It is a good lemonade. It's just perhaps not for me. It's more tart forward with some sweet versus sweet forward with some tart. So that would be my only thing, is that perhaps the Joe's Classic Lemonade is one that you would like if you like your lemonade to be a little more tart than sweet. But I'm going to give it an 8 because I don't think it's any better, but I don't think it's any worse than Milo's. And so I feel like it has to be at the same point. It just has to. Anyway. All right, guys. Enough of the lemonade review goofiness. I am available on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit. I am on Facebook, where we have our Facebook parishioners group. You can find us there. It's a private group. Just search for like Cigar Pulpit parishioners or something like that, whatever it happens to be. And I should know the answer to that, but for whatever reason, I don't know the name. It's the parishioners group. That's what I know it as. Search for that and request access, and I'll let you in there, and you can search Sharing Cigars, and it's a good time. Twitter/X. You can watch us on Rumble and YouTube. And Wednesdays, I put out the drive time reviews. Those come out at 7 a.m. Central Time on Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. Although I may get rid of the TikTok, quite frankly. The TikTok is dead. Like, I get nothing there. Like, Nothing off of TikTok. Anyway, so there's that. I need your calls for the Ask the Pulpit. You can give the hotline a call at area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. I'm probably going to be doing an Ask the Pulpit here very, very soon. So if you have a comment, question, concern, criticism, whatever, get it into the hotline. Area code 863-874-0000, and I will get that added to the queue so that I can answer that on a future show. We also have the Cigar Chronicle newsletter. Head on over to cigarpulpit.com. Sign up for that. You'll get an email from me. There's a little box that pops up. You can put your email in there. And you'll get an email from me once a month with all kinds of cigars news and a few reviews and goofy news. And it's a fun thing. It's just a fun thing. So sign up for that, and you can get that. Oh, and finally, this Friday, May 29th at 6 p.m. Central Time, we're having another Parishioner Zoom Herf. So if you are in the Facebook group or you follow me on Instagram, I have posted that information to both of those in the Parishioner group and also on my Instagram page. If you are not a social media person, but you need the login information that I posted there, just shoot me an email, nick@cigarpulpit.com, and I will forward you the login information, and then you can join us. But it's super chill, super casual. It's just like we did during COVID times. You know, you get together on Zoom, you have a cigar with your buddies, everybody kind of shit talks, you know, none of it's recorded because I don't want any of that being out there in the universe. And, you know, we just kind of just have a good time, and it's fun. So join in on the Parishioner Zoom on Friday, May 29th at 6 p.m. Central. So otherwise, guys, that's an episode. I appreciate you listening. Hope you had a good and safe Memorial Day weekend. And I hope you took a little time to remember what Memorial Day is all about, because it's not about backyard barbecues and everything else. It's about the brave men and women who have lost their lives, and in their efforts to preserve this, despite what your opinion may be of today's environment, great country. So anyway, I hope you had a good weekend. Guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar... Oh, that would be Ask the Boys outro. We want this one. It's been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe, stay smoky.